You might even imagine or feel the rippling of the fluid in the body as you breathe in and out, just as you would see on a calm lake. We're practicing grounding, noticing the breath, and everything else in between. Sounds and thoughts will come in. Just let them float by. Return to the breath, return to the body. Breath awareness, body awareness, simple mindfulness. If the eyes were closed, you could softly open them 1/10, gazing down at a diagonal. You could close again, internal world. Open the eyes softly, external world. Close again, if it's comfortable. Bring the hands together at your center. Let the thumbs rest on the chest. This hand position, palms together at the heart center, is considered a centering posture. Tip the chin down. If the eyes are softly open, you're gazing straight down. Feel the rise and fall of the chest under the thumbs. And then bring the thumbs to the third eye point. Breathe in and up to that place. Maybe one word pops up, what you want to get out of yoga this morning. Another breath in and up. Don't think about it too much. Exhale, bring the hands back to the lap, palms down, maybe on the knees. We'll start gently circling the torso. Whether you're on the floor or in a chair, the circles might be small or big, several times one way. Several times the other way. The heart is leading the motion, following the breath, of course. Of course, if you've been up since 4 a.m. and even took a walk, you might be more flexible than the rest of us. Reverse the circle again. The hips are the biggest joint. Nothing is ever supposed to hurt. If you were ever doing anything and you experience jabbing pain, that's a serious cue to back out. When you feel balanced on both sides, you'll come back to the neutral position, pressing down to lengthen up. I'm going to take one of my blankets out anyway. Think about your shoulders, the heads of your shoulders. Inhale them high up and roll back and down a couple of times. The movement is following the breath. Reverse the circle. Inhale, pinch the lower shoulder blades behind you. Exhale, shoulders roll forward. Arms and hands are just following. Come back to neutral. Make any adjustments. Fingertips on the floor. Inhale, the arms halfway up. Exhale, palms together right at the heart center. Breath of joy again, like we did last week. Inhale, clasp. Exhale, tuck and stretch the arms forward. Inhale, rock forward. Turn the palms away, reach up. Depending on your shoulders, You'll exhale, open quicker or slower than most. Inhale, clasp the hands behind, expand. Exhale, heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, palms away, reach up. Exhale, float the arms behind, clasping or holding one thumb or the other as you expand. On an inhale, exhale, back to neutral. Inhale, clasp. Exhale, tuck and stretch. Inhale, rock forward. And then float the arms behind. Inhale, chest expansion. Exhale, neutral. From here, make any adjustments. If your knees are sensitive and you are sitting cross-legged, you might need to stretch the legs forward. I'm still sitting on the edge of the pillow, blanket. Float the arms out and overhead, seated mountain, and then side bend towards the left. Use the hand on the floor to push the right hip back down. Upper arm reaches straight and strong as best you can. If it doesn't feel good up there, you could bend the elbow, hand behind the skull on the shoulder, drop the bottom shoulder, and then float back to seated mountain on an inhale. Exhale, opposite side. So my left hip just wanted to lift, but my hand on the floor pushes it back. The first couple of breaths, I find groundedness. Inhale, back up. One more time, either side. Kind of like crescent moon, especially if the legs are straight out in front like mine. The moon is a crescent right now, waning. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Slowly rise up. Back to neutral. Take an extra breath in the neutral position. Do whatever you need to head, neck, shoulders, any joints might be asking for a little movement. I'm still using the blanket. I don't feel like getting off of it yet. We're coming into a twist. So the arms could float forward and up. And I'm going to spin gently towards the left. One hand behind. I press down behind to lengthen up. My legs are in staff, straight and strong. Yours might be cross-legged. The right hand can press on the bent knee or the straight right leg. You could move the tip of your chin, your nose. If you feel really strong in the core, you could lift the arm behind, looking at the palm gently, staying grounded in the twist. Feel the twist from your waist to your heart to your shoulders. Take another breath in and out through the central channel, right up through the crown. And then when you exhale next, unwind. Make any adjustments in the neutral position. In staff, I'm straightening the legs, lifting up, following the breath. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, gently try and twist to the other side. My gaze stays forward. The hand behind walks as close as comfortable to the body to help lift up and out, staying grounded. Opposite hand, left hand to the outside of the right leg, either bent leg or straight. And then once we feel steady and grounded in the twist, maybe the head turns, maybe the back arm lifts, maybe your gaze is over one shoulder or the other. Feel it, enjoy it. bringing out any unnecessary holding. Another breath in and up, and then exhale, untwist. Right back to neutral. If you were on the floor, you could come into a low squat. If it feels good, if you're in a chair, you could move your legs side to side with your feet on the floor, your hips on the chair seat. So what I thought we would do next is the lunge series. You can do this from the chair, standing with the high back of the chair. On the ground, on the mat, you would cushion your knees, especially if they're sensitive. You can use blocks under your hands. I brought these little non-stick socks to make sure that you're on a sticky surface, because you don't want to fall if your feet are slipping. So I'm going to demonstrate with blocks. Bring the right foot forward. This is the low lunge series. The knee is tracking over the ankle. Back foot, toes could curl under. You could straighten your back leg longer. If you're using the blocks, the heels of the hands are right under the shoulders or a little forward. Already it's quite a pull in the hips. Breathing from the top of the back foot, the little toe even, where the kidney and urinary bladder meridian starts at the little toe. Can you feel it? On the floor behind you, breathe in and up from that place, right up the top of the foot, the inner left thigh. You can feel it in the right inner thigh, the gentle pull but no jabbing pain. On your next exhale, tailbone reaches back, front leg starts to straighten. The blocks are really good for this part of the pose. We don't want to be rounded over. I'm using the blocks to lengthen and open my chest, broaden my shoulders. I'm only hinging forward as much as comfortable for my hamstring. I know you feel this. Look at your right toes. You could pulse them up and down. The next time the right foot is towards the floor, you would leave it here, and maybe you shift your hips side to side. Pay attention to the shoulders broad. Keep them down away from the ears. To come out of this posture, we come forward right where we started, with or without the blocks. Lift the back knee and just shift your weight forward and back. See what this feels like. High lunge. Make sure you feel grounded. The right knee is bent. The back leg is straight and strong. You have to engage your core to lift the left hand and arm, opening the heart. Hips are heavy, back leg is straight and strong. You'll see. Slowly unwind. Back knee drops, drag the front foot back. From here, we'll come into child pose. If you're using a chair, you would sit down and forward fold over your bent knees. Roll the palms up, especially if the wrists were talking to you. Tiny little bones in the wrists. Just breathe. Feel the breath from your belly swelling to your lower back expanding. Inhale, rise up. From here, The left leg comes forward. I'll do it the other way. Cushion the back knee if you need to. One side is always different. Tracking the left knee over the ankle. You could always lift the back knee, stretch the back leg further back, and just see what this low lunge feels like to you today. Notice where you feel it. Can you connect to your little toe of the back foot? Breathe from the little toe in and up the top of the right foot. Continue the line of energy up the inner right leg. Feel the left inner thigh. Right up through the central channel of the body. On your next exhale, the front leg starts to straighten. Again, I'll bring the blocks with me in the high position. Relaxing at the hips. If the back is rounding, upper back, come up a little higher. Look at your left toes and pulse here, gently. You would only lean more forward if there's no round in the back. What if there's a round in the back? This is not the pose we would want. The next time the toes are going towards the floor, the left toes, leave them here, and just shift your hips slightly and slowly. Wherever you feel this is right where you need to. We all feel the postures in a different place. Energy gets stuck. In these meridians, we're working on the kidney and urinary bladder. The season for that organ pair is winter. We started early. Slowly come back to the low lunge. Lift the back knee and move a little here. Broaden the chest and shoulders. The shoulders always want to hunch. So my back leg is straight and strong. I'm really using my toes. Hips are as heavy as comfortable for you today. Left hand stays grounded. I have to tone the lower belly to let go with the right hand. Rolling the heart open, maybe circling the wrist. Back leg is strong. Slowly come out. Back knee drops, front foot drags back. Taking all pressure off the wrists. If sitting back like this is no good for your knees, of course you would use the chair. Rolling the palms up and receiving the energy that we've created so far. There's a little opening at the back of the neck. From here, some people actually use blocks to come into downward dog. It's up to you. Make sure they're on a sticky surface so that they don't move. You can use the chair, all four legs on the sticky mat. If downward dog is no good for you this morning, or any morning for that matter, puppy dog, equally as good. Hips over the knees. Chest melts down. Arms could be folded or straight. In the puppy dog, you might do a little of each. We're all going to come into a forward bend at some point, so take your time making any adjustments. We want to stretch. When you eventually come into the forward fold. The feet could be hip distance wider. The forward fold could become ragdoll. The knees are soft as they need to be for the lower back to feel good. The head is hanging. Whew. Halfway lift. Start your inhale, bend the knees straight ahead. Hands to the knees. Broaden the chest and shoulders. Open the heart. And then exhale, fold again. Look at your feet. You might adjust them. Hip distance, they're parallel to each other. If you're pigeon-toed or you walk opposite, having the feet parallel might be quite a challenge. We're just practicing half lift. Just pretend your skis can't cross each other in the front or the back. So some teachers call it downhill skiing. Fold again. This time when you come to the half lift, stay here. So my knees are bending forward, but now we're coming into chair. Hips back, pelvis down. Tuck the tail, suck the belly up and in. You could stay right here. You could even squeeze your knees together if your lower back is sensitive. Or you could keep your knees tracking over the ankles. You could let go of your knees. The arms could come to head height, right next to the ears. Tailbone tucks. Smiling. Strengthening the core. Sit a little lower to come up. Drop the tail and lean back. Whoo! Hands to the heart. Completely rest. Eyes could be softly opened or closed. Standing crescent. This time the big toe knuckles can touch, not so much the heels. Inhale, open the palms. Let the movement follow, arms overhead. Hands could clasp if comfortable. If not, you could bring the left hand to the hip, the top of the leg. I'm pushing there to lean to the left. Crescent. I felt a little wobbly just then, so then I brought my attention back to my feet. Big toes equally pressing. Then the two legs are strong together like one tree trunk. Inhale, back to neutral. With the feet together for me, I think I'm quite unstable. Other side, pretend to reach up and over a beach ball, whether the arms are together or this time the right hand on the hip or the top of the leg. When you exhale, the top shoulder opens. Your gaze could change. Inhale. Let's do it one more time. Neutral. You might even feel like getting longer from hip to lower rib. And then try the other side. Two legs strong like one tree trunk. Inhale. Neutral. Make any adjustments. Try the other side. If the arms straight don't feel good, of course you could bend the elbow. Back to neutral. Separate the feet, safe and sound, heart center. Woo! Enjoy that. Release. Drop the arms. From here, we're coming into triangle, just like we did last week. Of course, you could have a chair or a block. The legs are as wide as comfortable. Pivot the feet towards the left. Front foot goes 90. Back toes come in a little. Hips are loose. That brings our attention right down. Next time, the right hip cocks to the right. Leave it there. Float the arms out. Left arm bend floats up. Bring your attention to your feet. Ground down and reach up, out, and over the front straight leg. You could use the chair as well as your feet and strong legs to roll the top hip, the top ribs open. If your hand, the left hand, is close to the knee, never press there. Go below or above. Sweep your chin close to your chest to know where your neck is comfortable. You can always draw on the Ujjayi breath. Look down if you haven't yet. If the chair is here, you could use the chair to come into downward facing dog, forward fold. It's up to you. You could just come into the forward fold standing. The point is we want to rest the back. Move the way you like to. Knees could be bent a lot or a little. Feet could be pedaling wherever you are. Eventually, we'll all come to standing and step out wide again. This time, the right toes pivot 90. Left toes come in a little. I'm going to show you with the block versus the chair. The block will be in front of the right ankle or behind. Float the arms out. My attention is on the feet. I'm sending my breath right down there. Left hip cocks to the back leg. Back toes pivot in a little. Right arm opens the waist first. Inhale up, out, and over the front straight leg. So my left shoulder talks to me a lot. Sometimes it feels good when I reach the left arm up, sometimes not. Just by doing triangle on that first side, even though two sides can be quite different, my hand on the chair seat, because my arms are long maybe, was too high. The block, I'm just using my fingertips gently, pressing down and bringing strength into the back leg, helping to open the top shoulder. Some teachers don't even use props. Props are good for us. We're all beginners. You would only look up with a tucked chin at your thumb right over your mouth if your neck is comfortable. Look down if it feels better. When you're ready to come out of this side, the front knee could soften. You pivot the hips until they're square. Maybe you come into the forward fold, downward dog. Whatever feels good to your lower back. We're all going to come into a forward fold. Take your time getting there, moving the way you like to. To come up safely for your lower back, knees bend forward, tail tucks, and you curl up slowly. You could float the arms out and overhead. You could do that side stretch. Take any movement your body's asking for. The next posture is Yoga Mudra. where we bow down to the ancient yogis. The feet are hip distance, that's first. The legs look straight, but there's a softness to the knees. That helps tip the tail down. Inhale, arms halfway up. Exhale, float the arms behind. Hold the hands together or use a strap if you need to. I was just looking for my strap. Stretch the knuckles down. It's good to have all the props around. Then bend the knees. This is the yoga mudra part. Hinge at the hip crease, forward fold. The belly and chest rest right on the thighs. The head bows down. Maybe the knuckles reach off the back, maybe not. Depends on your shoulders, your neck. You can always exhale through the mouth. If it weren't for those ancient yogis in the East, we wouldn't be here. Thankfully for them, we're following the path of yoga. The word itself means yoking together the body, mind, and spirit. To come out of yoga mudra, bend the knees forward, let go of the clasp of the hands, tuck the tail, curl up, let the arms float wherever they want to go. Whew. If you had a block on your mat, you would move it to the side. We'll do a couple more standing poses. Stepping out a little wider than we were in triangle. We'll come into warrior two. So the left foot pivots 90. The back toes come in a little to protect the back knee. When I come into warrior two, I look down at my front foot. I bend my knees straight over the ankle. I can see my toes. Open the back arm, right arm here, left arm. Palms could roll up in the receiving fashion. You could turn your head side to side. The most important thing here is to feel stable and to keep the front bent knee over the little toe side of the foot, bringing us back to the kidney and urinary bladder meridian. Find your attention on the little toes. Follow the energy up your strong legs. The gaze is over the left middle finger. Palms could be up or down. One up, one down. Peaceful. You could smile. Preparing for side angle. When we link two poses together, it's called a vinyasa or vini yoga. Look over your left middle finger, reach as far as you can over the bent knee, and then the forearm comes down. Roll the top shoulder open, maybe the right arm close to the ear, palm down reaching. To come out of the pose, the inhale starts, slowly rise up, 10 toes straight ahead, hands to the heart. Make any adjustment, just breathe. Feel the rise of the breath under your thumbs at heart center. Exhale through the mouth or the nose. To rest the back here, bring the hands to the hips. 10 toes straight ahead. When you look down, they're in line with each other. Or the toes could be slightly pigeon-toed. Push down and out at the lower back. You might even point your elbows behind. I'm really pushing down at the lower back, and then I'm going to lead with the heart and come to the halfway down position. When I'm halfway, my heels go out, and then I feel really good release in the lower back. If you want more, slide the hands down the back of the legs and forward fold further. Of course, if your hands don't comfortably come to the floor, you could use a block or the chair. Breathe here. You could shift your weight slightly forward and back. Bring your weight into the front of your heels. I'm going to use the chair here. We're going to come into a rotation. So if the hands are comfortably on the floor, you'll leave them there. Bring the right hand straight down from the chest. Point the right fingers to the left. Get long in the back and then start to open. Maybe you use the left arm reaching up. Maybe you bring your left hand to your hip. Or your left palm to the lower back. My attention keeps coming back to my feet. They're pressing down equally. And my exhale is gently opening the top shoulder. Look down, slowly untwist, following an exhale. Coming right back to neutral. I'll show you what it might look if your hands are comfortable on the floor. When you come to neutral, lengthen the back. Feel the equal press of both feet. Turn the left fingers to the right, or they could be straight ahead too. Hand could be flat or on fingertips. When you inhale, the right hip opens. Maybe your hand goes there, and you see what this feels like for a breath or two. Another inhale, only open the top arm if it feels good, or bring the right palm to the lower back, but the shoulder is still rolling open. You'll see. Breathing. Sweep your chin close to your chest to know where your neck is comfortable. Slowly unwind. Ooh, you could creep your feet a little closer. Soften the knees. Supported squat might be in order. And then slowly roll up. Step the feet together or leave them wide apart. Do whatever your body's asking for before we go to the other side. You'll see what it feels like. Having the props near you is nice as long as they don't get in your way. So we're stepping out wide, depending on your hips. Turn the right foot 90, coming into warrior two on this side. Luckily, we have the other side. I'm looking down, bend the front knee. I see my toes. The risk is the front knee will roll in. That's no good. Keep it over the little toe side. Open the arms one at a time. Find a plumb line from tailbone to crown. We're not leaning forward yet, but you know where we're going. We're going to side angle. Bring your attention back to your feet. Little toes. Follow the breath from the little toes, right up the top of both feet, into the inner legs, all the way up, into the groin. The two lines meet, and then they split apart again and dive right into the kidneys at the lower back. Looking over the right middle finger, coming into side angle, reach beyond the front knee, forearm down, roll the top hip open, top ribs, top shoulder. Maybe the left arm comes close. Back heel could pivot out. Stronger in the back leg, protecting the knee. You would only bring the right hand to the floor if you could keep the top shoulder open. That's not me. Maybe a block. Breathe here. To come out of the pose this time, look down. Use a chair, blocks, or the floor to come into downward facing dog if you like it, or puppy dog, or child. Take your time here. At your own pace, you could come down if you were in downward facing dog to child, like the rest of us. You can always use a block under your forehead. You could bring your hands to the lower back and breathe into your kidneys, into your hands. From here, if it's okay for your needs, you'll come into a standing kneeling position. You can do this gentle back bend on the chair as well. Camel. Toes curl under. If you're sitting in a chair, your feet are flat. It's a back bend. So we find alignment first. Maybe you push down and out at the lower back. And this could be your camel, hips over knees. Rainbow, the heart open wherever you are. If you want to challenge yourself further, and you could feel around for your heels, as soon as I did that, my hips went back, but then I used my fingers to press the hips forward, keeping them over the knees. Drop the head back only if the neck is flexible and comfortable with that. It's a big back bend. To come out of the pose, you would lean to one side or the other and slowly come back to child pose. Very slowly. It's completely opposite of the back bend we just did. From here, we'll come into staff pose. I'm gonna sit on the edge of my blanket and I'll sit sideways so you can see where we're going. Spread your butt cheeks. If you're on a chair, do the same, spread the butt. You might even put a blanket under your knees or a block. So I find alignment, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. You can use your hands behind you to lift up out of the lower back. That's first. Staff pose. All the seated postures come from staff. Breathing. Forward fold first. So you could inhale your two arms out to the side, eventually overhead and forward fold, hinging at the hip crease. Because my knees are bent, it's easier for me to hold onto the feet, peace fingers around the big toe, pulling back, lengthening my back. So I find the comfort of the pose first, forward bend, east-west stretch, and then I could round over. Even here, bring your attention to your lower back and breathe into your kidneys. When you inhale, tailbone curls back. Big full breath. Right under the lower ribs, the floating ribs. To come out, you could slowly hinge up. You could keep a blanket under your legs, but not necessarily a block. We're going to come into a twist, so you'll bend the right leg. That's first. You could bring the right foot over, but if it doesn't work for you, you wouldn't do it. My hips are level. I'm hugging the bent knee with my left hand. I'll bring my right hand behind. I can hug further above the knee or below. The straight leg is straight. Toes are pointed up, so it's quite a twist. Sometimes I lean back to let the belly and the chest pass. I can even use my hand to make that happen. Use the straight leg, heel reaching, toes pointing up to lift you up and out of the lower back. Hug the bent knee as tight as you can. Maybe you move the head. Crown of the head reaches up on an inhale. On an exhale, the belly draws back, strengthening the core. Lift the back hand, open it, follow it with your eyes as you slowly untwist. Straightening the legs, making any adjustments, preparing for the other side. Staff pose first, bend the left knee. Maybe left foot goes over. If you can keep a good connection. If not, you keep it inside. Hold the bent knee tight. Under or over. Bring the left hand behind. It could be a soft fist or flat hand. So we use the back hand to help to start, but then we use our core, our straight leg and our core to help stay here. You could even lift the back hand. Just like in the beginning of class, when we did the twist in the beginning, you could lift the hand if your core is strong, that is. Drop the shoulders down. Maybe you look behind you, maybe you look forward. Try not to use the back hand like a kickstand. It's only there to help in the beginning. To come out of the pose, take a big breath in, lengthen, and when you exhale, suck the belly in and start to unwind, following the palm with the eyes. Back to staff pose. Make sure there's nothing behind you. We're going to roll down. You could use your core to roll down. You could do a couple of flexes here, forward and back. So to use the core to roll down, we're purposely rounding the lower back. You would let go. You'll know if your back can take this. If your back is sensitive, of course you would stay holding on. Once you're down on your mat, bring the knees towards the chest and just rock a little side to side. Wave breathing. Hands on the knees. Inhale, the knees pull the arms straight, chin tucks. Exhale, knees towards the chest. Inhale, knees pull the arms straight, chin tucks, belly presses down, your head could even pop up. Exhale, knees towards the chest. Keep going. Inhale, knees, pull the arms straight. Exhale, knees to the chest. Go at your own pace. A few more times. The next time the head is down, you'll bring your feet to the floor and leave them in the bent position. You'll loosely flap the knees side to side a couple times. And we'll come into four square. Bring the left foot to the right knee. The ankle goes a little beyond. We've done a lot of hip work already today. You'll see if you want to creep your right foot closer, maybe lift the foot off the floor. Use your hands under your right thigh or holding your right shin. All of these modifications if you want more. The feet could be flexed energetically or not. Breathe into the place where you feel this posture. It's quite a hip opener. Use your breath, the wind of your breath, to create more space in between the muscle fibers. Exhale, release, and we'll switch sides. Right foot to the left knee. Let the bony ankle bone go a little beyond. See what it feels like over here to creep the left foot closer. Maybe lift, holding on wherever's comfortable. So every posture, we follow the breath. We enjoy the pull, but never jabbing pain, never. We always return to the breath, to alignment. You'll bring the feet to the floor, uncross. From here, one last twist. So you could cross the left knee over the right. You could lift your feet off the floor, tone the core, and bring the crossed legs to the right of you. The right foot could stay on the floor as you just let the crossed legs drop over. Breathe here. Bring your right hand to your belly, to your ribs, your floating ribs. Breathe. The crossed legs might separate. Slowly return to neutral. Make any adjustments with your hips, loosely flapping like we've done before, and then cross the right knee over the left. The arms could float out, shoulder height or less. Slowly let the knees drop to the left. The gaze could follow the bent knees or stay center or turn away from the bent knees. Never forcing. Maybe bring your left hand to the ribs. Broaden the shoulders. Do what you need to. And just feel the breath, the movement of your floating ribs right under your left hand. Breathing. To come out, let your legs separate if they want to or need to. Slowly return to neutral. At this point, you might feel like your body's cooling down, so you could put your jacket back on if you're in a cool space, roll to the side. And we're going to transition into relaxation. For all of us, it could be a different place, could be on the back, in a chair. You could be laying on your side. Laying on your belly is also a choice. Take your time here. As you transition to relaxation, you might even notice your body's asking for another posture. Gently come into it if that's what you need. We slowly and mindfully transition in all the postures, especially this one. Wherever you are, can you feel yourself grounded? You can always return to your breath in the corpse posture relaxation. Especially if the mind is busy, return to your breath. Notice your body, where it moves as you breathe in and out. We went over a little bit. Take your time just staying right there or transitioning to a seat if you'd rather, and I'll read you a short meditation. You're your best yoga teacher, so you'll know if you want to transition or stay right where you are. The meditation is titled Creative Expression. Creativity is alive and well in my home today. It is evidenced in the extra attention I pay to the arrangement of a shelf or tabletop, to the food that I cook or the way that I present it. Creativity is a part of the activities that I choose to undertake and the way that I enjoy them. It is bringing a fresh eye to an ordinary day. Children are creative. And being with them unblocks the moment, the spontaneity. The work that I do is creative, not necessarily because of the nature of it, but because of the way I approach it. Approaching my life with a creative spirit actually gives me energy. It entices me to dig my hands deep into the stuff of life, work with it, and make it my own. My creative spirit propels me to move ever energetically into the next challenge. It brings me closer to the creative spirit that breathes life into this world. I look with an artist's eye today.